to your basic stance in alignment. Let's spread out through the toes. Sweep relaxation through your legs, bend through your knees. Hips come round into neutral. Let's lift through the rib cage. Shoulders come all the way forwards and up. Bring them back and down. Really open up through the chest for me now. And feel that expansiveness all the way throughout your whole body. Feel heart space open up. We're going to be continuing on with our studies of basic movements, enhancing our understanding of the biomechanics of those, deepening our practice, and also an opportunity to really harness the energy of Shakti, that energy that's within all women. And within men as well. And it's that sacred life force energy, your real zest, your essence, your femininity. Not just that femininity that's very delicate and pretty, but also the real raw power and strength of femininity. So we're going to draw up that energy from the ground, feel it channel all the way up through your legs into your hips. Bend through your knees. And we're going to bring our hands down to our hips here. I want just to, first of all, start off with this tuning into this energy around your hips. So we can ground ourselves down from busy mind in deeply into body, arriving into your body. Perhaps for the first time truly today. So we're just bringing that bend to the knees. Allow the shoulders to relax. And this in and of itself is a kind of a shimmy. Bring your hands back to your hips as you return the hips into steady center. And just tune into that feeling that you now have, that awareness of your hips, that connection you have with the ground. Feel into that there as we come into a slide of the hip. Bring your hip out to the side, allow the waist to lengthen, and the knee picks up this extra bend. We could elevate our hands out to the side in that lateral raise, bring it out to the side. Remember, you can bring your elbows towards the back. And relax through. Wow, everybody's looking lovely here in our live class tonight. We can make that a little bit smoother now, make that a bit faster perhaps. It's so amazing to connect with you all online, isn't it? Let's bring our hands into center here in gratitude. We can bow our head in gratitude to each of our dance sisters, wherever they are in the world. Into center, and our dance brothers as well, joining us from near and far. Let's really begin to rock through the hips. I always think it's amazing that at any point when you're dancing, there's other people in other parts of the world are dancing as well. You might be dancing for different reasons. You might be dancing to different tunes or rhythms. But it's like a universal language, isn't it? We actually had movement before we had language. We used to dance before language. Just think about that for a moment. Nowadays, I think there's a lot of emphasis put on verbal communication. Wouldn't it be nice to also give reverence and return to that physical communication? We're going to take that hip now into a circle. Bring the hip out to the side. Now, using the pelvic floor muscles to keep the hips in neutral, you're going to bring the hip all the way back. Well done. bring it out to the side. And as you come out to the side, you're automatically going to come into one of those hip slides that we just did. So at its widest of your circle, this is like a hip slide out to the side. And then you're going to come forwards, and the hips really come forwards. And if I show you that from the side, it looks a bit like this. Out to the side. Keep the hips tucked under in neutral, tailbone facing to the ground. Don't force it though, but just know that's your aim. Bring it out to the other side, bring it all the way round. Out to the side, bring it back to the side. Bring it forward, side. Take it back to the side. Bring it forwards, yes, side. Take it back. It's really soothing, isn't it? Soothing and grounding. Let's take it around the other way. So if you've been feeling like the energy's been a little bit chaotic, maybe like you feel like, oh, everything's up in the air, come down towards the ground. Quite literally, things are no longer up in the air. Bring your energy down into hips. Let's make that a bit faster now if you're ready. Let's engage those muscles of anchoring. And you'll find a little refresher of that on the Belly Basics playlist on YouTube. Let's take it the other way. Really anchoring in through that upper half. Well done. Let's make it big this time with anchoring the other direction. Really add that bend to your knee, bring it all the way around. Well done. Let's take it the other way. Beautiful, to center there. And we're going to slide through the upper half. So in this session, we're also going to be having a deeper look in at hits, hip hits, which I find are always quite good fun. They're really nice to accent something within the music. Maybe it's a particular beat within the rhythm, or perhaps it's part of the melody. So let's take it across. 1, 2, 1, 2. Bring the hands out in front. Go out to the side. Wow, well done. Let's take it down into the hips now. So what we've been doing with the low half whilst we're doing the upper half there, just before we take it back down, just bring conscious awareness towards anchoring now through your low half for me. You could experiment with bringing your feet a little bit closer as you do that. And just see how that changes the way that it feels. It perhaps changes the muscles that you're utilizing. You could add in some fluid arms. So here, with this fluid arm, we still got that horizontal slide of the rib cage. So it's not that we're coming into that figure of 8 and bringing the whole rib cage as well. This is another movement that we're going to look at sometime soon. But for now, I just want you to get used to that idea of that energy not just stopping, but actually it flows beyond. So it flows all the way to your fingertips. It flows, flows, flows. So what you're doing here is you're keeping your shoulders level. The rib cage slides. Well done. And then at the same time, you're going to bring that movement out to the arm. Now what you're going to find wants to happen there is that the shoulders want to come like this. So even if you think that you're doing that movement as we would like, you probably find there's an element of this creeping in. The reason for that is it uses less muscle control. You're using bigger muscles, the superficial muscles, and not just the internal muscles. So there's quite an internal contraction going on as well there to keep that level through the shoulders. Well done. Okay, let's bring it down into the hip again, like we said. You can Place your hand on your hip if you like. Woo! I always feel very feline whenever I do that. I feel like a little kitten. Meow! Do you know, actually, the ancient Egyptian word for cat, actually, I'm going to leave you with that. Maybe that's something to have a little look up. The ancient Egyptians and their relationship to cats. Bastet, Bastet. Goddess of magic. Protector of dancers. And a whole host of other things attributed to the cat goddess Bastet. But yeah, there's a little bit of homework. I don't always issue homework, actually. Who wants homework? But if you like, have a little look up. What is the ancient Egyptian word for cat? The ancient Egyptian word for cat. All right, so we're going to try travel the slide of the hip. So we did this previously. I like to just get us moving, get us really flowing right from the very beginning. And that way, your body knows that we're not just learning a series of movements, we're actually planning to do something fantastical with them. So as you step, you're sliding the hip out on the same side. Let's bring it forwards again now. You might not have a huge amount of space to travel, and that is absolutely okay. You can take really, really small steps, or you can just practice on the spot. The other thing you can do is take it round in a circle. So as you step, you're going to continue to slide your hip out to the side. Bend through both knees, step and slide, step and slide. That hip line is nice and level all the way across, so you're continuing that bend of the knee as the hip comes out. Slide, 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 slide. Well done, that looks amazing. Bring it back. Slide, 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 slide. So with that step there, we stay fairly close to the ground, and you're gliding your foot across. So it's not a big step like this, although you might do that at times as well. But here, it's literally skimming across the floor. And then the other way that we can move, so this is forwards and back, we can also move side to side with that movement. And if you're stepping side to side with this movement, let's bring our hands out to the side to help steady us. So we're gonna step and slide the hip out. And then as you bring the other foot in to meet this one, you're gonna step your feet together, but at the same time, you're gonna bring the hip all the way across that foot. So you're gonna come all the way outwards, lengthen to the waist with an extra bend, and then bring it all the way as you step inwards, slide out to the other side. Step and slide, step, slide, step, slide, step, slide. Let's try the other direction. Now this time as we take it to the other direction, I want you to just have a little think about. A moment ago, as we did the movement, trying to keep the shoulders level, but they want to come round like this. This is what your hip wants to do as you do the hip slide. So just see if you can keep that hip line nice and level. Here we go, get ready. Ready, and we're gonna step and slide, step, 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 slide. Well done. So that's something you can have a little bit of a play around with that if you want to. Of course, there are times when maybe you want the hip to swing up a little bit. It depends what sort of a feel you're giving. But in a more classical belly dance, you want to keep the hips tucked under and you want to keep the hips parallel with the ground. That slide is really level. Okay, and you're using all of your anchoring muscles to do that as well. Amazing. Let's move on and have a little bit of fun with some beautiful Shakti warming and activating figures of 8. Oh, Stunning, stunning. These feel incredible. They're so good for digestion. They feel amazing. Okay, let's come in then to basic stance. Do your checklist from your feet all the way up through your body. And that way you won't miss anything out if you start one part of your body and work your way upwards. All right, so we're in that basic stance. We're gonna twist through the waist to bring one hip forward. So either one side or the other, doesn't really matter. You can decide. So we're gonna twist to bring the hip forwards. And then you're gonna use that slide of the hip that we did to slide the hip directly forwards on diagonal. Now, what else are we doing here? We're keeping the hip level. The way we're doing that is lengthening out through the waist. Lengthen out through the waist, slide. Your upper half, try keep it anchored in center. Keep it facing center, center, center there. And then from there, you're gonna bring the hip all the way around towards the back. Keep the hip, the rib cage facing forwards. Bring the hip all the way to the back. And you're gonna slide diagonally forwards on the other side. Bend through that knee. Good, and in its most extreme extension, then you're gonna come all the way around towards the back. Again, hips are level, so it's not up here, and it's not way down here, it's level. Bring it all the way around to the back, and then slide it into center. And just level it up in center for me there. Well done, well done. So that's one complete well, I don't know if you would call it that because it's not a circle, but anyway, one full infinity sign, figure of 8. Let's now try again. So we've said that our hips are right in the center point where those two lines meet in your figure of 8, where they meet. That's where your hip starts. That's the origin point for us in this movement. Let's try again. This time bring your hands out to the side. Here we go. We're going to twist through the hip, slide it forwards, bring it all the way around to the back. Good, trace it all the way around. We're gonna slide, bring the hip forwards, bring it all the way around to the back. In through center, slide to the back. Slide, bring it around towards the back. Here we go. Slide forwards, twist to the back. Slide forwards, twist to the back. Slide forwards, twist to the back. Slide forwards and twist to the back. Here we go. Slide forwards, twist back. Slide forwards, twist back. Slide forwards, twist back. Slide forwards, twist back. Wow. You know when you just feel all of that joy, all of that love and gratitude just pouring out of you? 1, 2, 3, 4. You could try that a little bit faster if you want to. Meow. Woo. How's about try bring your hands to the back of your head? Wow. How does it feel? I'm going to turn here, twist forwards, bring it round to the back. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Well done. Woohoo! We could reverse that movement. Do you want to try reverse it? Yeah? Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to reverse it. Okay, let's reverse it. All right, nice one. So we're here, tuck the hips under. So we were coming, twist the hip forwards, bring it back. We're gonna do it the other way around now. So we're activating through the reverse side of the body. If you remember previously, in a previous session we spoke and said that actually the muscles work in pairs, so it's a really, really good idea to practice not just the forwards motion, but also the reverse motion as well. That way you're building strength and harmony throughout your whole system. So we're here, this time we're gonna twist the hip back, slide it on diagonal, bring it forwards to the front. Slide, back, twist, forwards, slide, back, twist, forwards. Keep that hip line level, bring it all the way around. And feel that Shakti life force energy really growing and building within your hips, your belly. Wow. Well done. Amazing. We're going to move on now. We're going to have a little look at some hip drops and then those hits that we spoke about. All right, so your hip drop, can anybody remember the hip drop? Hopefully you can. Hopefully you remember fabulous technique. If not, let's have a little quick refresher. We're going to come onto the ball of the foot, bend through your knee. Keep that bend through. You'll be amazed how easy it is to forget from one session to the next. And also because your body is changing every day. You have more tension in one area of the body or less tension, depending on how you've been using your body. So hips in neutral, lift through your rib cage, and then open through the chest. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're gonna lift that hip all the way up towards the sky, and then we're gonna release it, drop. Lift all the way up and out, hips in neutral, and then we're gonna release it with a drop. A bit faster, here we go. Lift, drop, 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 lift. Let's try the other side. You're probably feeling that. Do you feel that? Ooh, feel that in your thighs already. Let's bring it around to the other side. On the other side, you should really feel it in your thighs. If you feel it in your thighs, you should feel it more in your supporting leg than the active leg. The reason for that is it's like a coiled spring ready to move. So you want to really feel that. It means that you're in the right position. Tuck the hips under, lift through the rib cage, deep breath. And as you breathe out, we're gonna lift the hip all the way up to the sky. It comes up and out. And then we're gonna drop down, release. Nice. Lift, drop, 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 lift, drop. Oh wow, ladies, we're really refining this now. Nice. Drop, 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 drop. Woo! Did you feel that? Whoa! It's really toning and strengthening for your thighs. But it's really nice when you bring it up to speed as well. Let's come into that central drop of the hip. The basis of so many movements within belly dance. So we're going to be using the knees as pistons. They work as levers. You're bringing the knee forwards and back. And as you do that, try to keep your knees behind your toes. That means your shimmy and your hip drop are actually health boosting for your knees. If your knee comes over the top of your toes, further ahead of your toes, see that? If you did that for any duration, if you practice that on a regular, that's going to compromise your knee joint. So we want to keep the knees behind the toes. Okay, and we're in neutral through the hips, and we're going to drop, 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 drop. Drop, 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 drop. Wow. Amazing. Drop, 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 drop. Drop, 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 drop. It's hard to say that at the same time. Wow. Wow, that was gorgeous. We're going to move on and have a little look at, first of all, let's do a tiny little bit of a camel, and then we're going to move on and do a hit. Okay, so we're going to lift through the rib cage. I'm going to talk to you about this more next week, and we're going to utilize this. We're going to come down through the upper abs, mid abs, low abs, pelvic floor. Tilt the hips to neutral, and we're going to begin again. Deep breath in. Bring it all the way down. Nice. Lift up, roll down, knees bend, hips tilt. Lift up, roll down, knees bend, hips tilt. Lift up, roll down, knees bend, hips tilt. Lift up, roll down, up, roll down, up, roll down, up, roll down. Wow. That was so slinky, so serpentine. And it's quite a nice contrast to this next movement. So the hit. So your hip hit, similarly to a hip drop, it can be used to accent something, maybe on the end of a sequence that you just did, a combination. Can be really, really lovely. So you've got the hip drop, where the hip is coming directly down towards the ground. So you lift the hip up and you drop it down. You use gravity, your own body weight and momentum to drop the hip down to the ground. Now here what we're doing is we're actually going to bring the hip upwards and outwards. So let's bring the hips into our basic stance. So we're in here in the basic stance. Make sure hips are tucked under, your rib cage is slightly lifted, and you're aligned, fully aligned. Deep breath here. As you breathe out, what I'll get you to do is take a step on your right foot and use that as a prep step, and then we're going to hit the hip up and out. Now on that prep step, make sure that you've got a huge bend in your basic stance. So it's a huge big bend through your knee, big massive bend through your knee. Bring the hips back and down, nice straight back. Big bend through that knee, and then you step out into prep, you're ready, boom. Now if you didn't have that huge big bend through your knee, you're just here, it's still there, but two things. One is you could hyperextend through your knee and compromise the knee joint, and I'm never for that in our class. So let's always make sure we have a really, really big bend through the knee. The other reason for that is you can go so much further. You've got so much more space that you've created for yourself. So the hip is nice and low, which means when you step, you can bring it up high. So much more space, bigger range of motion. Let's try that on the other side, shall we? Deep breath in, big bend through knees, keep it there, here we go. So we're gonna step, hit. Beautiful, bring it back to center. Let's try that again. Get ready, 4, 3, 2, and step, hit. Sometimes I find as I go into that prep step, I actually bend down even more. Depends what look you're going for in the dance that you're doing. Sometimes if it's something really traditional, folkloric for example, you maybe want that bob of height. Although sometimes in a classical or cabaret style, maybe you don't want to be able to see that level change. Okay, let's run that through a good few times just to kind of get you into the way of that hit. So we're going to take it towards one side and we're going to take it back towards the other side. So let me just change up the music for us so we got a nice rhythm for that. 1 second, and maybe nudge this on a little bit. I think there's a piece in here. And not that one. Okay, so we're going to change this over because these are all absolutely stunning, but very, very soothing serpentine at the moment. So give me just 1 second, I'll change this over. Help yourself to some hydration at the moment. That's a fabulous idea. Keep your muscles all topped up. So here we go. This is a really lovely track to use for some hits. Turn it up nice and high. Are you ready? Here we go. So in the center, we're gonna hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit. Does that feel a little bit too fast? Let's slow it right down. Ready? And hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center. So you can tap your foot out and not place your full weight on that foot. So you literally just point with your toe, place a bit of weight and hit. Try that on the other side, so return into center. On the other side, hit. Bring it back into center. Or you can actually step into it and really place your weight. So that would be then hit. It feels much more earthy, more grounded, much more folkloric, traditional. Into center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit, center, hit. Wow, that was absolutely gorgeous. It's so Moorish, isn't it? I bet you feel like you just want to dance now. You just want to do more and more and more. Wow. Figure of 8. We did all of those gorgeous figures of 8 today. Bring it forwards, twist back. Reverse it maybe, bring it back, twist forwards, back, twist forwards, back, twist forwards, back, twist forwards. Wow, amazing, really incredible. Woohoo, let me turn this down a little. And then we can release and relax it out. Deep breath in. Pivoting out of your hips. Into center. We're going to bring a stretch through one side. You can cross in front if you'd like. Wow. Really noticing flexibility improving. Deep breath in as you breathe out. And that's the thing with all of these movements in our dance, is the more that you do them, the more that you can do them. And the deeper you can go with them, the more you feel into it. Deep breath here As you breathe out, let's return into center. Place your hands down on your hips. Woo! And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yay! If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can be informed of when the next video goes up. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, remember you can head along to patreon.com/Little Egypt Studio, where you'll find a community of other enjoyers of these videos. See you soon. Bye.